Hello, oncers. Yeah, oncers. Once upon a timers. Welcome to my review of Dreamcatcher. Yeah. Yeah, anyway. Welcome to my review. Welcome back to Once Upon a Time Season 5 reviews. Yeah, I'm back. With more Season 5 reviews. But anyway, yeah, welcome to my review of Dreamcatcher, episode 5. What a episode. Whoa. Whoa. What did Emma do? Broke a 13-year-old, broke his son's heart. Yes, she did. Yeah, we saw in the image, we saw how, well, I thought it'd be someone else, but Emma doing it to break his own son's heart, to tell Violet to break his son's heart, and yeah, he was fuming like that. Son of a bitch! Oh my god, I can't believe it. Yeah, I can't believe it. Yeah, I just can't believe it. Yeah, there was so good bits in it, great scenes between Merlin came back, is alive, yeah. But how? But why he ain't in the real world? Hey? Why he ain't in the storybook? We don't know, we have to find out. Yeah. Directed by Bowman Thorne and written by Edward Kitts and Adam Waltz. Yeah, it was fantastic, brilliant and awesome at the same time. Yes, Melida is training Gold to fight Emma. Yeah. And so, okay, this is going to be good. Yeah. Hell yeah. It's going to be good like that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it is going to be good. I'll do synopsis in a minute. Yeah, coming up next is Best Liver Maddie and Best Friends for Whenever. I like to his house. Yeah. So yeah, it was a really good episode. I loved the scenes between Henry's in love. Henry's got a sweetheart. Yeah. Yeah. He the actor who plays Henry, he has put up much, but he didn't do. I know in season 4 he hasn't done nothing this much. This season he has. He's got a storyline in it. Got a romance between Violet and him in the real world, but not in the. But he knows now. He knows. And yeah, it was a really good episode, fantastic and brilliant at the same time. Yeah, it was. And awesome at the same time. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, it was. Hell yeah, it was. Hell yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. So, on to the character's past plot. In the early years of Camelot, a mistress enters Walker through the forest, calling out the Dark One with the dagger in his hand, saying he destroyed the only woman he ever loved. As the original Dark One appears, the person fails his attempt to stab the gold masked being. Only to drop the knife in shock. The Dark One then picks up the dagger and turns the person into the tree. The person is revealed to be Merlin. Yes. Yeah. Who is Merlin? Who's the woman he loved? Merlin who he loved? I don't know. Wow. I don't know. Who is it? Who is she? Who was the original Dark One? Hey? Yeah. Coming up. In the events how Merlin was transformed is witnessed through Dreamcatcher by Emma as she stares near the tree at the same time. David and Mary Margaret, who are now under King Arthur's command, convinced Regina to hand over the dagger to Arthur. Unaware of the moments Regina took the two to the room where it was hidden, Emma was waiting for her parents. By placing F3 spell on them, and she tells Virginia about Arthur using Mary, Margaret and David in order to unite Exterior with the dagger and then kill Merlin, which is why Emma wants Exterior and Virginia to work with her to free the sorcerer. Yeah. Even though Virginia is not convinced of Emma's claim, but it's her darkness telling Emma this, which Emma disputes, saying it's the truth and that the dark magic is the answer. Virginia asks how Emma knew her parents were under the spell, and she shows Virginia the Dreamcatcher, and Virginia tells Emma that the device catches more than dreams, as Emma believes that her dark magic is stronger than she thought. Emma then explained to Regina about how Merlin was imprisoned in the tree. Regina submits to Emma that the tear of her ever lost love was the answer to release Merlin. At the same time this was happening, Henry helps Violet groom her horse. Okay. At the same time this was happening, Henry helped. She talked about having lost a parent, with Violet telling Henry that her mother was once a champion rider before she died. With Violet telling, Henry then sees a sword pretending to be Paul the Excalibur from the stone, but Henry's no match before the sword, and he falls through the stable hall. All of a sudden, Violet's father, Sir Morgan, arrives. When the conclusion becomes an unwelcome one for Henry, as Morgan disapproves of outsider because of his lack of the swordman and horse riding skills. But even saving Violet from the ogre attack, Morgan tells Henry to stay away from Violet and leave the stables. Yeah. Late in the woods. Awesome. Regina and Emma stumble onto Henry practicing, and both give him a boost of alcohol. This brought back memories for Regina as she reasons about how Cora killed Daniel, which gave Regina an idea to orbit a tear which came from her using the Dreamcatcher. When Emma tried to use the potion, didn't work, as Regina has moved on to Robin. Meanwhile, Henry treats Violet to a dinner and a movie of grannies, as she is impressed. But when the subject of dating or courting came up, Violet tells Henry that she wants to just be friends, but explains that was not because of her father's disapproval of him. This deserved Henry because he's not a hero in this universe, who is covered by Regina, who then takes Henry's tear to Emma and tells Henry he's just found a way to save Emma. As they joined Emma and at Merlin's journey, Arthur and his knights are ready to stop Regina and Emma from releasing Merlin, calling them lies. As Regina unleashes her hand to fire keep Arthur at bay, she tells them to use the spell, which unleashes the light and dark magic freeing Merlin. And now the human sorcerer then calls out Emma, then lashes out at Martha, telling the king that he is and not Merlin's false prophecies, and to blame this mess, and adding, as long as the dagger and Excalibur are separated, Merlin is untouchable. Arthur, however, says this is far from over. Merlin later lifted Arthur's spell off of David and Margaret. He revealed he could lift the darkness from Emma, but then was just one thing he needs from Emma, that if she was ready to release the darkness from her. Yeah. Now on to present day, which is Stormbrook. The residents discover that the girl has disappeared, but Arthur, the residents discover the griff has disappeared, but Arthur, who has squired, killed, kept silent about his whereabouts. Henry on the other hand, believes the only way to stay positive, the lie of all this, to hold a dance, which Chen was way to ask Violet out. At the same time, Emma continued to make the real amount out of Gold without telling him and explaining why she needed him. As Gold tried to tell Emma that being the Dark One would cost her the ones she loved, she didn't want to listen, then brought in Merida to do her bidding and sent them to the woods. Emma, heeding Gold's words, was having second thoughts about everything as she went to her shed full of Dreamcatchers and cried. As they arrived in the woods, Merida began putting Gold to work on making him a hero. It doesn't work. But he has shown to be weak, which influenced Scottish archer from John Brooch. She then finds something that he can fight for by showing him Belle's chipped teacup and taunts Gold on how coward he was even to Belle. Gold in turn takes the sword and heads towards Merida, who stops him and tells him that what he did was an act of bravery and they have a long way to go. Yeah. Oh yeah. Later on that day, Henry meets up with Violet to ask her out to the dance, but tells Henry a horse, Nico, was missing, and so he went to Emma for help, believing the mother he loved was still inside of her. He asked for help to find Nico. The two later found Nico at the pumpkin patch, where the owner warned Emma to stay away. None aware to Emma, Henry used the missing horse to search allow Virginia, Hook, Robin and Belle to sneak into Emma's home to find out what she keeps in the basement. Oh yeah. When Virginia discovers that Emma placed a protection spell on it, she uses Henry's scarf to act as a counter spell and discover Sarah and dagger together on the stone. But as Hook tries to pull it, Virginia stops him as he might body trapped. Belle also discovers the rope that Gold was in the room. But as Virginia gets a text that Emma was returning, everyone then exit. As they do, Hook spots a box and Dreamcatcher on the table. Virginia believes that is where Emma stored everyone's memories. They later catch up with Arthur to tell about the dagger and the Excalibur in Emma's position. Arthur's still evil. Arthur tells them that Emma merged the two together. It could either snuff out the light or dark magic, leading Mary Margaret to believe that Emma might be trying to eliminate the light magic. Finally, Henry arrives with Nico and brings to Violet, with Sir Morgan thanking Henry for a noble, heroic person. Unfortunately, Virginia and Robin decide to look into Dreamcatcher and discover that she is Violet's. They see is Violet's memories. It turns out Violet discovered a note from Henry for their date, but Emma Matres then makes Violet to keep a secret by taking her heart as a part of a plan to free Merlin by convincing her to break Henry's heart, which leads to his tear being used. Henry sees this and is devastated by Emma's betrayal, and he's not alone. When Emma learns what happened, Virginia explains how she can betray Henry like that by choosing the darkness over her son. Virginia then warns Emma to stay away from Henry, or has also turned on Emma by closing the blinds on her before she disappears into the darkness. Yeah, it was just, I think, yeah, it was just, whoa, it was just fantastic and brilliant. But yeah, I think this episode was mixed reviews. I've looked at the reviews and yeah, I got confusing as well in this episode. Yeah, it was just yeah, it was great. It was great to see Merlin 3, and about the scenes between him and were distracted. We have seen before. Yeah, we have seen it before with some other characters from Once Upon a Time. But yeah, it was a really good episode, fantastic episode. I'm just ignoring the mixed reviews, but yeah, this was a great episode, but it was confusing at some times. But them scenes of Violet and Henry we have seen it before between some other characters from Storybook and from Once Upon a Time. But yeah, it was a really good episode and awesome at the same time. So the verdict for this episode, I'm gonna give it 9, actually 8.5 out of 10, but it was a really good episode and awesome at the same time. So coming up next is Live and Maddie, then Best Friends Forever, and then later tonight Hollyoaks, EastEnders, and Emmerdale. Emmerdale and EastEnders. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this video, guys. Like, comment, subscribe for more epic reviews like this, and see you in a bit. Bye, guys. I gave it 8.5 out of 10, but it was a really good episode. Peace and confusing. Bye.